Hi, everybody. Mitch Chanbam here. Thanks for joining me today. In the AI alerts, there's unfortunately, I think the AI is in the domain of move fast and break things. And in this particular case, Microsoft's AI tool apparently was able to read customers' emails, even the ones marked confidential, using tags. And that's not by design. So they've fixed that. But in addition to that, the EU Parliament is a little bit nervous about these kind of AI tools, as they block the AI features on work-issued devices completely. So that's probably not good either, but it is what it is. What can I tell you? And also in AI, both red and blue states want to limit AI in insurance claims processing, but the president really wants to limit the state's ability to do that. Congress does not seem to be inclined to side with the president. That's not something he can do by executive order. So, the states are kind of revolting at this point. And governor of Utah, who is a Republican, says the feds are welcome to regulate AI, but kind of not in my backyard. This involves protecting kids in Utah. He's going to tell the president what he can do with his AI regulations. Oh, in the CMMC area, now that we have CMMC officially in force, the SPUR score for defense contractors, the only thing they really care about is the CMMC score. And the CMMC score has to be at least 88 with a bunch of other restrictions. So the ability to post a SPUR score of 60 or 70 or 50 and say I'm compliant, those days are history. Also, the issue of cage codes has come up again. And make sure you get that right, because if you don't have that right, then you have a problem there for sure. Some people are questioning whether or not AI is real, because there's only around 1,000. We'll see soon this week what this month's number is, but around 1,000 companies that have a third-party certification. But Microsoft has 18,000 customers who have bought GCC high licenses. That doesn't include people that are in GCC. That's a whole other group of folks. So, it could be double that or triple that number. So there's a lot of people who are working on it. And yes, you're right. There's not a lot of people who have gotten a third-party certification yet. But in many cases, that's not a requirement yet. And also in the CMMC space, if you are using an MSP, make sure your MSP agreement is really clear in terms of what they're going to do and what they're not going to do, because we've seen some people get surprised when they think their MSP is in their court, and turns out they're not. In the reference department, if you're in the residential real estate world, like mortgage or lenders or title, there's a new regulation that the feds finally have come into force on to limit money laundering, or try to limit money laundering. And that doesn't matter whether the transaction is financed or not. In fact, if the transaction is financed, it's probably less of an issue because the lender already has money laundering requirements. But anyway, if you're in that business, definitely you should be checking that out. In the important issues and patches department, Amazon has fessed up to the fact that their own AI tool caused customer downtime twice in the last couple of months. Once caused a 13-hour outage and they say this is not AI related, but it really is. Their tool, Kiro, decided that the right way to go off and implement a request that the human being made was to go delete the old environment and create a new one. Unfortunately, did that, kind of broke things. Amazon is saying, well, it's really a permissions, because the AI agent really shouldn't have been operating in an environment where it had permissions to do that, but it did. and it caused that, and that's only one of 2 outages in the last couple of months. And then also in the AI space, again, AI is just everywhere these days. N8N, which is a very popular AI agent building tool, or AI workflow tool, it was just discovered there's 5 bugs, 2 of which are called Nightmare, spelled N-I-8-M-A-R-E, and N8 scape. The CVEs are 10, yeah, perfect 10, 9.9, 8.8, 9.9. It sounds like gymnastics scores, and 5.4. But some of these are only exploitable in certain conditions. But if you use N8N, you definitely should be looking at this, and probably should patch anyway, so no reason not to. Under education is a great YouTube video on why new cars are less secure than your old 90s beater. And basically it's because of all the tech that's in there, but they actually demonstrate that, so it's pretty cool. In the breaches department, fintech giant Figure was breached. It's a blockchain-based lender, and an employee was socially engineered. That's how they got in the first place. And the group, Shiny Hunters, claimed responsibility for the hack. And they said, you're not going to pay. We're just going to release a couple of gigabytes worth of your data. So not good. They'll be busy cleaning up that mess for a while. And then the Moonwell lending protocol was hacked for almost $2 million. This is after the second Oracle database misconfiguration. This one was self-inflicted. They priced a particular coin at around $1 instead of $2,200. The AI agents that kind of troll for this sort of stuff, looking for bargains, discovered that and started buying this coin at $1. And before they did go off and figure out what was going on and shut it off, this particular folks had gone off and bought and then sold and then transferred the money out. So they're out some amount of money, $2 million. But that's, the AI, right? AI is great when it works. And if you program it right, and not so great if you don't program it right, you don't test it well enough. And then going back to old school ransomware, oh my God, not that. The University of Mississippi Medical Center closed all of its clinical locations statewide last week. The center has more than 10,000 employees and is the state's only children's hospital, only level 1 trauma center, only organ and bone marrow transplant program, and only telehealth center of excellence. So closing it statewide is not a good thing. And they're not really sure. For patients who are inside the hospital, the staff just got out their number 2 pencils and pencil sharpeners, and they're going to grunt it out, but not good. Hopefully they get it sorted out quickly, but they said they don't know how long they're going to be down. Pentagon, never happy. What can I tell you? The Pentagon is not happy with Anthropic because they have put some hard limits on what the Pentagon can do with their model. It can't do, like fully autonomous weapons and surveillance on American citizens. And the Pentagon says, well, we want to do anything we want to do because we're the Pentagon. And Anthropic saying, don't think so. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. It's a bit of a religious argument for Anthropic, so they may be willing to take their computer and go home. How long does it take you to detect an attack? That's an interesting question. If it's more than about an hour, you're probably on the wrong side of the equation because we're seeing full-blown attacks in about 70 minutes. So if you need help improving your time to detect, and give us a holler. The UK is taking online this is a mouthful, non-consensual intimate imagery seriously. That's where someone nudifies typically a young girl or young woman. In the United States, even though there is a law, the maximum fine is about $53,000, as I recall, per incident. What the UK is proposing, is not quite there yet, but it's close, and it likely will happen, is up to 10% of your global revenue. So in the case of Elon, who told women whose nude pictures were posted on Twitter that they should just grow up, it could cost him $10 to $15 billion. So I think even Elon will probably take heed at that. I think that's a number that's large enough to get his attention. Ukraine and Starlink are fighting the Russians' use of Starlink. They've got some interesting laws and processes in place. Texas used to be Trump friendly, not so much anymore, passing laws that the president might not be terribly happy with. The feds are in the process of creating a website to circumvent and violate EU law. That's kind of interesting. Interesting to see how that goes down. Poland bans Chinese cars, and they're not the first, from entering military facilities because they're worried about surveillance. And hackers can turn Grok and other AI tools into covert malware command and control channels. Pretty cool stuff. And AI regulation is pretty dicey right now. So there's lots of laws, lots of bills. The feds don't even know what they're going to do. But if you need assistance in sorting this out, then please let us know. We'll be happy with that. Not sure what I just said. We'll be happy to help you with that. But until next time, stay safe. If you need assistance, contact us and come back for more. Thanks for listening.